they all talk a lot of big things that हम ये कर देंगे, हम वैसा कर देंगे, हमारा ये सपना है, हमारा वो सपना है. बट अगर उनके एक्शन उठा के देखते हो, लाइक घंटा कुछ नहीं मिलता वहाँ. लाइक एवरीथिंग इज जस्ट null and void in their actions. Two things can really help you to just stand differently from the crowd. Yo guys, namaskaram. So Debukidastak is a platform where we talk on mental health and a lot of other sensitive issues, right? So basically, the entire aim of this channel is to build a community around sensitive issues and make people feel comfortable about themselves. So basically, like, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Our mission is to empower you with ideas to live smartly and joyfully. The world is full of suffering, but let us increase our competence to deal with things joyfully. And just a tip, so all these are basically conversations, so I might suggest that you should watch these conversations at 1.5x. You can increase the playback speed through the button in the settings. Cheers and enjoy watching. Yo guys, namaskaram. So आज हम बात करेंगे 5 small habits, or let's say just 5 different things which you can do in your life which can make you more attractive in the eyes of people around you. Okay, let's start. So the number one thing is, I think you should just stop thinking all the time and start taking baby small steps towards your dream. Because what I've seen, roughly speaking, in a lot of people around me is that they all talk a lot of big things that हम ये कर देंगे, हम वैसा कर देंगे, हमारा ये सपना है, हमारा वो सपना है. बट अगर उनके एक्शन उठा के देखते हो, लाइक घंटा कुछ नहीं मिलता वहाँ. लाइक एवरीथिंग इज जस्ट null and void in their actions. So you might have seen in your own eyes, जब आप देखते हैं कि let's say आपको एक चीज़ करनी थी and कोई और इंसान वो चीज़ कर रहा है, फंडामेंटली आपके अंदर कहीं ना कहीं एक हल्की सी रिस्पेक्ट आती है उस इंसान के लिए कि ही इज मेकिंग दो sacrifices and those choices which I am not able to make. So I think one instant step which can make you more attractive in the eyes of others would be, like, start taking actions towards your own dreams. I think action is much greater than thinking, because most people just bloody well think all the time and never take any action. I think the second thing would be that you must sort your values, because in life what I have seen mostly is that a lot of people are hell lot of confused as to what they want to do in life and किस तरफ उन लोगों ने जाना है. So basically, I think a fundamental way or a different way of looking at it is that, like, if you're completely clear on your values, ki, these are like 5-10 things which I like stand up for, which I care for deeply in life, and these are like 5 to 10 things which I don't care for deeply. So whenever you'll talk with other person, you'll see that, like, you talk with so much clarity, बिकॉज यू नो वॉट योर कोर फंडामेंटल्स आर, कि हाँ ये स्पेसिफिक लाइन है जो मैं कभी क्रॉस नहीं करूँगा, एंड ये स्पेसिफिक बाउंड्रीज है जिनके अंदर मैं रहूँगा, एंड लाइक आई वुड जस्ट ट्राइव टू बिकम अ मोर बेटर एंड बेटर ह्यूमन बींग. सो आई थिंक वंस यू सॉर्ट योर वैल्यूज एंड deepen your why as to like what's your bloody purpose of living in this planet, or let's say something that gives you meaning in long term, these two things can really help you to just stand differently from the crowd. Because I think once you deepen your why, the purpose of life, and you sort your values, you would always have time for the things that matter to you, and you'll start taking action for them. Okay, number 3 would be that you must always listen to your gut. So what happens, like, as we old up, हम ना कहीं एक वो अंदर जो हमारे वॉइस होती है, दैट स्मॉल लिटिल वॉइस विच इज टेलिंग अस टू टेक दिस डिसीजन, which usually seems bold in the eyes of other, but we know that it's the right thing to do. So that gut feeling, I think you should just start listening to it more and more, and just start acting on those bold decisions, whatever they say. Sometimes, like, we stop ourselves from thinking about the consequences कि अगर मैं ये bold decision करूँगा, या let's say ये मैं bold चीज़ करूँगा, उस चीज़ का कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या है, and उस चीज़ की वजह से आई थिंक मैं अपने आप को रोक दूंगा एंड मैं अपनी ही जी मारता रहूँगा. सो आई थिंक if you just stop thinking about the consequences and just live in this moment and just execute, you'll see that you would create an aura of, let's say, boldness around you, and people would start admiring you more. Because what happens, you might have seen from your own personal experience, let's say आप 10th 11th में थे तो आप 100 चीज़ों के बारे में परवाह करते थे, and 99% of those things never even happened in real life. So that was just like waste of your mental energy which could have been invested otherwise. So I think taking that lesson, and just always listen to your gut feeling and act on those bold decisions. So the number four thing is, I think the best way to become attractive is to become the producer of the thing that you consume the most, or let's say you find missing in life. So this is kind of inspired from startup thinking, that what I've seen, that people make products around those things which they see missing in their lives per se. So आई थिंक लेट्स से अगर आप एक टाइप का कंटेंट कंज्यूम करते हैं, एक टाइप का म्यूजिक कंज्यूम करते हैं, सो इफ यू स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग अ कम्युनिटी अराउंड इट, यू विल फाइंड दैट यू विल हैव लाइक weird people like yourself who would be in that community, and you'll have your own tribe. So like the more you kind of do this, I think the more you would kind of get your own network per se, and the more you learn from those ideas which are on the core aligned with your own fundamental unique tastes, or let's say unique choices in life. Because usually what happens in life, you might have seen that people in their 40s 50s, they kind of look for, like, let's say certain meanings in life which is derived from this sense of community, or they just want to do something for the planet per se. If you already have a tribe, or let's say community, I think that can be a good way, because you would strive for something that is bigger than your own personal shell. The last thing, this is kind of obvious, but still, I think the best way to stand out of the crowd is just to do the opposite things, generally speaking, as to what the entire crowd says or do. So just to give you a very small example, let's say most people you might have seen are quite negative in their approach to life. So if you just become positive, you'll see that you'll create an aura of likability around you, and people would like to hang out with you because they sense certain good vibes from you which they don't get otherwise. I think you should always play the game in which you run in the opposite direction, as compared to the people who are in your like sphere per se, who are going in this fundamental direction. I think you should just go in a different direction. I think because what it does, let's say if you're just being positive, and people around themselves are negative, so I think people would want to spend their time with you, because you make people feel good about themselves, which they hardly feel in their own lives. So value is the way to go. So yeah, just to recap, I think it can be summarized into this 5 bullet point, like stop thinking and start taking action, sort your values and deepen your why as to why you're living on this planet. Third would be just to listen to your gut feeling and enact on those bold decisions which that small little voice says. The fourth would be just to build a community around your weird tastes and interests. And the fifth would be just run in an opposite direction as to where people are heading. You should just go in an opposite direction. Just a couple of updates. So my website is live now. So you can go to www.debukidastak.com. There you'll find a lot of resources. I have my blog running there. I have my reading list for the year. If you have any suggestions, comments, I'll be happy to take that feedback in and improve, because I just want to build a community which is hell smart and just always living in the world of ideas and making things happen. Yeah, that's a small video. Let me know what you feel about it. And this is Debashish Pindra from Debukidastak signing off. Cheers.